What's up, guys? We are taking a look at another Black Series figure from Triple Force Friday, another Episode 9 figure, and this is one that I've already looked at because he got a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. That, of course, is the Sith Trooper, but we're not just talking about the regular figure because there'd be nothing new to talk about. We're going to take a look more specifically at the carbonized version from Amazon, which, frankly, outside of The Mandalorian, I think this is definitely up there for best carbonized figure because he is just candy-coated red goodness. I'm pretty excited to take a look at this guy. So as far as this one goes, we've got our standard Black Series packaging, but it of course is done up with the red foil packaging that is pretty standard for this line. So he gets a red box since he's a red figure. You've got him there in the window, carbonized call out on the front, some artwork. He is number 92, and then the back of the package gives us a little bit of a write-up on these guys as well as more of that art. So let's do it. Let's pull them both out and take a look. And here he is out of the package, our carbonized Sith Trooper. I've got to say, and now that I've got this guy out and in hand and have compared him to the regular version, there's just no comparing the two. He is, for all intents and purposes, as far as the base figure goes, he is the better figure. Just from aesthetics alone, I absolutely love everything about this. Unfortunately, this makes me want more stuff to be carbonized. Captain Phasma, for example, could really use this treatment. Pyre from the Disney exclusive set could use this treatment. Anything that should be metallic could use this treatment, and I think this Trooper in particular, more so than the Jet Trooper, really shows off what it can do, really gives it that very metallic sheen, that very like candy coating almost, and I really, really like this figure. I'm a big fan of the red design on this Trooper to begin with. I like the more angled look, but this paint job, this finish, really puts this one over the edge for me. Of course, he is more expensive, but I think you're getting a little bit of a better figure. So let's just jump right in and take a look, see how this guy moves around. I have reviewed this figure before because, again, he's the same figure that we've seen previously. So the San Diego release is the exact same figure. It just comes down to finish. So for the uninitiated, let's kind of run through this real quick. You've got a head and a neck that can move on this guy, but they don't really move a lot. And this was the same for my SDCC figure. So he goes down a little bit. He doesn't really look up too much, and then of course he rotates. Arms go out at the shoulder, and you've got kind of rubbery pads over here to help with that. You've got rotation. You do have a butterfly joint, and if there is one thing that I'm noticing different on this guy is that, at least with my figure, the butterfly joints aren't as easy to move as they are on my SDCC figure. So I'm not sure it's actually a difference or maybe just something going on with my figure. He could just be kind of tight still. So you've got rotation, and then you've got outward movement, and of course butterfly joints. No bicep swivel, but you've got a single rotating newer style elbow. Gets you a little bit more than 90 degrees on this guy. So that works really well. And then you've got your rotation at the wrist, and then you've got hinge. You've of course got your diaphragm cut, so all the way around. Legs go out a little bit. You are going to have to work with those legs and kind of watch so you don't, nick your paint job there. Kick forward, kick back. You've got a thigh cut in there at the armor plate. Double jointed knees, of course. And then we've got rocker and we've got hinge. He does seem to move around a little bit more, I want to say, stiffly than the standard figure, and I'm assuming that has to do with what they did to the plastic. Whatever the situation is going on with how they make this figure look this way seems to make him a little bit more rigid, but he still moves basically the same, except for, at least on my figure, those butterfly joints. They are just a little tighter this time around. Of course, all that said, this figure, as you are keenly aware, I'm sure, is all about the looks, and it's all about the looks. I can't stress that enough. Everything about this figure and my interest in it comes from the paint job, from the finish, just the deeper red that we've got here, and of course the metallic sheen. This guy absolutely shines, and he is incredibly reflective when you've got him under some intense light. Now, I know that there has been a little bit of concern based on a few reports of paint issues on these figures, and I touched on this in my Mandalorian review, and I think I mentioned it in the Jet Trooper as well. I have not encountered anything like that, and I figured that this guy was probably going to be the prime candidate for any real issues because he is covered in the carbonized aspect here. He's not quite the same kind of situation as the Mandalorian. This guy is 100% the same finish all over the body, except for the black. They're, of course, not going to make that metallic. But this figure in particular has 0 paint issues. I think he looks pretty flawless as far as what you should expect to see. Everything is, again, like kind of a candy coating, and it's very shiny, it's very reflective. The red is much more deep, is the best way for me to say it. It's a really, really deep red, and again, I think this is going to be what he looks like more so on screen than the regular figure. And just like that standard figure, it's the same sculpt. I love the design on this guy. I think all of the line work, the kind of etchings that they've gotten inside of the armor, and just the more angular look, because the regular First Order Stormtrooper is kind of soft. It's a lot more curvy in some of its plating. This guy has a lot more hard edges and just, more angles, and I think it looks pretty cool. Frankly, that's really what it comes down to. I think it looks cool, and I think it sets him apart from a normal First Order Stormtrooper, especially from the Jet Trooper as well, because that guy is really, really just soft on some of his design, whereas this guy is very sharp, harsh angles, and a lot of that etching and line work I think is really cool. And of course that kind of flows into the helmet sculpt, which has more of those lines that run down, and the metallic plastic on this guy, the metallic paint, just works to make all of those little etchings, the line work that runs through it kind of pop when the light hits it the right way, and you kind of get this gradient effect. So I already liked the figure to begin with, because I'm a big fan of this design. I like Red Troopers, so I'm kind of biased to start with, but I think this guy in this finish really shows off whatever they've done to make carbonized figures quote-unquote carbonized. This is the poster child. I still think the Mandalorian is probably the coolest one because he has so much different stuff going on with those different finishes. But it's undeniable that a fully metallic trooper is just a cool figure to have, and it's really just wants more and more and more to be done like this. Phasma, come on, I need a Phasma that's been carbonized. Now, the one area where I think, well, I kind of know that this figure comes up a little short is in the accessory department, and honestly, I'm not really sure why. I'm assuming it has to be related to paint costing out an accessory, because this guy comes with only one gun compared to the regular Sith Trooper in just the standard box that comes with 2 guns. So this guy has a gun that we've seen before. So this came with the SDCC Trooper. It comes with the regular Sith Trooper. It's the newer style gun that we've seen with this particular figure. And it does have the carbonized paint scheme on it. So you've got the reds that are done up in that same candy coating. But he doesn't come with the regular red First Order blaster, which I'm not all that beat up about. I prefer this gun just because it's new and it's different. But it's odd that he has less stuff than the regular figure. And just like the regular trooper, you can pop this guy onto his thigh pads with that telltale First Order nub that sticks into the slot on his legs. You can stow that down there if you choose. So you've got one gun, and really he's only probably ever going to hold one anyway, but it's still kind of an oddity that he only comes with one compared to the regular figure, despite the fact that he costs $5 more. And then of course, the main event here, we have to compare the carbonized version to the regular version. And this is the SDCC figure, but it's the same exact figure that comes in the regular box. And I mean, it's a night and day difference. The reds on this guy are just so much deeper. And of course, everything is so much more vibrant because of this paint scheme. And this guy is just 100% molded plastic. So it's an entirely different situation. Frankly, I would love to have nothing but the carbonized versions, and I've already got a second one on order because I couldn't not have 2 of these guys. I should have ordered 2 to begin with. So I've already got 4 Sith Troopers right now, and I've got a 5th one on the way whenever Amazon ships, because I really, really like this paint job. I think it really brings out everything that is cool about this guy just to a higher degree. So if you are already a fan of the regular Sith Trooper, there is 0 reason not to get this one. It's just the same cool figure, kind of ratcheted up a bit. So overall, this is, I mean, it's a great figure. There's really not a whole lot to complain about. Even the negative about the missing gun, which I still find kind of odd in the grand scheme of things, is not that big of a deal to me because, well, frankly, I don't ever have stormtroopers holding more than one gun on most occasions, and he does come with the cooler of the 2 guns for my taste, so it's not a big deal, but it's still kind of an odd thing. Otherwise, though, he makes everything that I liked about the Sith Trooper into something much better because I love metallic figures, and this guy is kind of shining like a beacon at this point, so I really can't get enough of how well they did with this guy. Again, I have no issues on my figure, so I think I came out pretty good in terms of QC. Hopefully your mileage will not vary on that, and we won't see a lot of issues with this guy, but I do think that Hasbro's kind of done something really cool with the carbonized aspect, and again, I want to see more of this. I don't want to say that because I don't want to rebuy more figures, but I do actually want them to go down the road of giving us a few carbonized figures that we've already gotten previously. I like it that much. So that's going to do it for this look at the Amazon exclusive carbonized Sith Trooper. Let me know what you guys think. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and until next time.